Hi, this is William, and today we're going to talk about the Google top-heavy algorithm. So you have most likely already read about Google's new top-heavy update, but before explaining, I'd like to highlight the importance of this update and the way it can affect your rankings, traffic, and therefore earnings. The effect is for those companies that use SEO professionals who are not aware of these changes, which could greatly affect their Alexa ranking. Google finds it extremely important that its top ranking results provide the best content for the end users. Google's business relies on it being one of the best search engines. So if the quality of the top search results diminish, it would slowly lose market share. And it's well known that now that to ensure the results is top notch. Google constantly updates its ranking and indexing algorithms. They do so around 500 times a year, so on the average that's over one per day. Of course, the majority of these are minor. However, from time to time, they come up with a breakthrough on how they can tell if a site provides a good end user experience. Google's top-heavy update is one of these. So what are they looking for? What percentage of your ads are above the fold? What percentage of your content is above the fold? And what is the keyword density of your content above the fold? Let's look at what Google actually doing with these releases and when the recent update of top heavy. So ads above the fold. At the first point being the percentage of your ads above the fold. What I do on all my sites is to make sure I have no more than one standard size. Doesn't really matter what size, but don't make it too big. Advertisement above the fold of your browser. Usually this should be a banner ad somewhere up in the header of your website. I found that they prove to be effective in terms of CTR, but also I found that sites that have that single ad as a banner ad tend to rank a little bit better on average. Ultimately, the best would be to have no ads above the fold. If you can afford to do that, that would be extremely beneficial. Of course, many of us can't do that simply because we rely on the income from these ads. That's completely understandable. A general rule I like to follow is to keep the amount of ads above the fold to an absolute bare minimum. Google doesn't see ads as helpful to its users, and let's face it, most of the time they aren't. Percentage of ads above the fold. Next up is percentage of content above the fold. This is probably the most important part of the update. Let's make it clear, putting as much useful content above the fold as possible is a good thing, an extremely good thing. We've seen a definite trend with our websites. Positioning all the information so it fits above the fold has helped our web rankings. Try it and you'll see the same. Obviously, there are many cases where getting all the content above the fold isn't possible. This leads to the next point, keyword density, which by definition is the percentage of times a keyword or phrase appears on a web page compared to the total number of words on the page. And how to check keyword density. Let's talk about the keyword density above the fold. Nowadays, good keyword density is around 3 to 4%. At least that's the general consensus. For my sites, I try to maintain that or up it a little to around 5 to 6%. What I find is important, though, is that all these keywords are above the fold. While keeping it natural, try and get as many of them up there. I found some significant difference in rankings on sites using and not using this technique. What you need to be careful about is keyword stuffing. It needs to look completely natural. If it simply isn't possible to get most of your keywords above the fold, it isn't a major problem. However, you will be missing out on some great ranking bonuses. The second update. Some more updates to the entire Google search engine algorithms. Google has announced a second update to the page layout filter, also known as the top-heavy update. This update is a refresh of the page layout filter, which was first released in January of 2012. Top-heavy refers to how this Google filter is meant to penalize poor-quality websites which are littered with ads above the fold of a web page. Google released this filter after numerous complaints from Google users informed them that user experience was being negatively affected because over-optimized spam websites with nothing but ads above the fold were defeating relevant and important sites and ranking on the search engine result pages. The number of sites affected by the update. Estimates released by Google state that this second top-heavy update is expected to noticeably affect about 0.7% of English language queries. How do I know if my site has too many ads above the fold? The first method is check whether a website has too many ads above the fold by simply loading the page and taking note of how much of the web browser is taken up by ads. If you have more ads above the fold than that actual content, then you can safely assume that you're in violation of top heavy. Matt Cutts, Google spokesperson, stated that Google has no plans on creating an official new tool to help webmasters analyze sites for violation of this update. For a more comprehensive analysis, Cutts suggests users take advantage of the existing Google browser size tool to make more reliable assessments of their sites. So, I removed my ad overload. Why is my site still being penalized? According to a post made on official Google blog, it can take several weeks for Googlebot to crawl and process enough pages to reflect layout changes. So if you decide to make changes to your site today, you do not notice any improvements in your site's ranking, don't be concerned, as it does take time for the ranking sites to shift. Just remember, your focus should always be on constantly picking up new relevant and original material on your website, not on ads. Some ads on your site are beneficial, but once you count, ad count becomes a distraction for your clients. It becomes self-defeating. And that concludes the presentation on Google Top Heavy algorithm. And this is William, and I'll see you the next time.